Louisiana. Missing persons and statistics. Louisiana. Louisiana, located in the deep south and south-central regions of the United States, shares its borders with Texas to the west, Arkansas to the north, Mississippi to the east, and the Gulf of Mexico to the south. A significant part of its eastern boundary is defined by the Mississippi River. In terms of land area, Louisiana ranks 20th among the 50 U.S. states and 25th in population, boasting approximately 4.6 million residents. Unique to its French heritage, Louisiana is the sole U.S. state that uses the term parishes to denote its political subdivisions, which are equivalent to counties. This distinct feature sets it apart from the majority of U.S. states, which are divided into counties, with the exception of Alaska, which has boroughs. Baton Rouge serves as the state's capital, while its largest city is New Orleans, home to approximately 383,000 people. Louisiana's diverse landscape is largely the result of sediment carried by the Mississippi River, which has given rise to expansive deltas and extensive coastal marshes and swamps. These regions host a vibrant array of southern wildlife, including ibises, egrets, the state's recognized American green tree frog, sturgeon, and paddlefish. The state's northern areas, at higher elevations, encompass a wide range of ecosystems, including tallgrass prairies, longleaf pine forests, and wet savannas. These areas support a remarkably rich diversity of plant species, including numerous terrestrial orchids and carnivorous plants. More than half of the state is covered by forests. Louisiana Amber Alert. Louisiana Amber Alert Program Overview. In January of 1996, the heart-wrenching abduction of 9-year-old Amber Hagerman unfolded in her Dallas, Texas neighborhood while she was innocently riding her bicycle. A vigilant neighbor witnessed the abduction and promptly reported the incident to the police. Tragically, Amber's lifeless body was discovered 4 days later in a ditch, a mere 4 miles from her home. This harrowing event spurred a concerned citizen to conceive an idea that would eventually evolve into the Amber Alert Plan. The purpose of the Louisiana Amber Alert Plan. The Louisiana Amber Alert Plan is a comprehensive, statewide initiative that unites the efforts of law enforcement and broadcasters. Its primary objective is to swiftly and safely locate a child who has been abducted within the crucial 2 to 3 hour window after the abduction occurs. It serves as a valuable investigative tool, yet it is not intended to be the sole method of recovery. While the Amber Alert is a national endeavor, there is no single, unified plan that spans all states. Different states have their own approaches, with some having statewide plans and others implementing Amber Alert systems at regional or metropolitan levels. Each plan operates independently, and in the United States, there are over 100 distinct Amber Alert plans, many of which are not interoperable. The Louisiana Amber Alert Plan is a statewide framework, capable of collaborating with other plans upon request. It became operational in October 2002. The Louisiana Amber Alert Plan is not the exclusive resource to be employed in missing child cases. Universally applicable to every situation. Intended for every type of missing child scenario. Designed for cases involving custodial disputes. It's important to note that several groups and organizations, both nonprofit and for-profit, may claim to be raising funds for the Louisiana Amber Alert. If you encounter such solicitations, we urge you to promptly contact a Louisiana State Police Coordinator for verification. Louisiana Amber Alert Plan. Guidelines and eligibility criteria. The responsibilities of a law enforcement agency are extensive, particularly when addressing the case of a missing child. In situations where investigating officers possess credible grounds and evidence indicating a child's abduction, they can engage with the Louisiana State Police Fusion Center to request an activation of the Amber Alert. However, the activation of Louisiana's Amber Alert Plan is contingent upon the authorization of the Louisiana State Police Amber Alert Coordinator, or their appointed representative, and is subject to the fulfillment of specific criteria. The Louisiana State Police, LSP, acts as the vetting agency, forwarding critical information to designated broadcasters. The Amber Alert is specifically reserved for serious child abduction cases and is not intended for runaway or most parental abduction situations, unless the circumstances clearly pose a life-threatening risk to the child. Amber Alert criteria. The subsequent criteria must be satisfied before triggering an Amber Alert. Law enforcement has verified the abduction of a child aged 17 or younger. Law enforcement reasonably believes that the circumstances surrounding the abduction suggest the child is in peril, facing serious bodily harm, or even death. Adequate descriptive information concerning the child, abductor, and/or the suspect's vehicle is available, indicating that an immediate broadcast alert would facilitate the child's recovery. Every participant in the Louisiana Amber Alert Plan takes each request with the utmost seriousness. Each submission is meticulously reviewed, prioritizing the child's safety above all else. The entire process of activating an Amber Alert is a comprehensive and continuous undertaking until the case is resolved. Once the Louisiana State Police, LSP, personnel receive the reporting form, it undergoes a thorough review to confirm that it aligns with the specified criteria and contains adequate information to warrant an Amber Alert activation. Additional follow-up phone calls may be necessary to gather more detailed information or seek clarification. If approved by the LA Amber Alert State Coordinator or their designated representative, the information is prepared for the voice message, which will be disseminated to Louisiana broadcasters. Subsequently, the information is transmitted to the LSP command staff, the state's Amber Alert partners, and a backup copy is either faxed or emailed to media outlets across the state. The Amber Alert information is also distributed to all on-duty patrol troopers, all law enforcement agencies throughout the state, and the Louisiana Lottery. In cases where applicable, the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development is requested to activate its variable message boards. Broadcast frequency. After the initial alert, the Amber Alert message will be broadcast every 20 minutes during the first 3 hours and every 30 minutes thereafter for the next 2 hours. This schedule remains in effect until Louisiana State Police issues an end of alert message. Local broadcast stations maintain discretion in deciding whether to repeat the message more frequently and determining the frequency of message rebroadcasts beyond the initial 5 hours following the first alert. Upon official confirmation that the missing child has been located, an end of alert message is released to terminate the Amber Alert. In cases that do not meet the criteria. Level 2 Endangered and Missing Child Advisory. When the current case fails to meet the criteria set by Louisiana, a Level 2 response known as an Endangered, Missing Child Advisory comes into play. In this scenario, the Louisiana State Police can utilize the available information provided by the requesting law enforcement agency. This information is then shared with all media outlets statewide, using the agency's existing statewide media contact list. The requesting law enforcement agency and its telephone number are listed as the contact for public inquiries. It's important to note that a Level 2, Endangered, Missing Child Advisory can be upgraded if the case's circumstances change in a manner that warrants it. Unlike the Amber Alert, the Level 2, Endangered, Missing Child Advisory does not involve the use of the emergency alert system and does not interrupt regular programming. False reporting of information to trigger an Amber Alert. The Louisiana State Police and the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters take the Louisiana Amber Alert program with utmost seriousness and will not tolerate any abuse or misuse of the system. Due to the rising trend of exaggerating circumstances in attempts to trigger an Amber Alert, the Louisiana legislature made amendments to LRS 14-403.3, which took effect on August 15, 2005. Reports of missing children, procedures, false reports or communications, penalties. A. 1. Any state or local law enforcement agency that receives a report of a missing child and reasonably believes the report's accuracy shall, within 48 hours of receiving the report, notify the following entities about the report's contents. A. The Department of Health and Human Resources. B. The Department of Public Safety and Corrections, if it did not initially receive the report. C. The Office of the Sheriff for the parish where the report was received, if it did not initially receive the report. D. The Office of the Sheriff for all parishes neighboring the parish where the report was received. E. The National Crime Information Computer System. 2. the law enforcement agency may also inform any other relevant local, state, or federal agency about the report's contents. B. No individual shall knowingly file a false missing child report with a law enforcement agency. C. No person shall intentionally convey false information regarding a missing child to a law enforcement agency if the intention is to delay or obstruct an investigation into locating the child. D. Violators of subsection B of this section shall face fines of up to $2,000 or imprisonment for up to 1 year, with or without hard labor, or both. E. Those who violate subsection C of this section shall be subject to imprisonment at hard labor for up to 5 years. Louisiana Silver Alert. Silver Alert. Louisiana Silver Alert. A lifeline for missing adults with mental impairment. In 2008, the Louisiana legislature took a significant step by enacting legislation that gave life to the Louisiana Silver Alert program. This program was designed with a noble purpose in mind: to identify and locate missing adults grappling with mental impairments, including conditions such as Alzheimer's disease or dementia. The legislative act, known as LRS 40-2530.1 Act No. 453, recognized the critical importance of the first few hours in finding missing senior citizens or individuals with developmental disabilities. To fulfill this mission of identification and location, the program was created, aptly named the Silver Alert Act, and referred to in this chapter as the program. Its implementation was entrusted to the Secretary of the Department of Public Safety and Corrections. Noteworthy, however, is the fact that various groups and organizations, whether nonprofit or for-profit, may claim to be seeking funds for the Louisiana Amber Alert or the Louisiana Silver Alert Act. If you happen to encounter such solicitations, we urge you to reach out to a Louisiana State Police coordinator to verify their legitimacy. Criteria for activating the Louisiana Silver Alert Act. The Louisiana Silver Alert Act is a valuable tool intended to support law enforcement in locating specific missing individuals. It's important to understand that the Act does not restrict law enforcement from employing the same public notification resources in cases involving missing persons initiated by local law enforcement or those that do not align with the criteria outlined below. However, the distinct term, Silver Alert, should be exclusively used by the Department of Public Safety and Corrections, Louisiana State Police, LSP, under the following circumstances. Missing person with developmental disabilities is defined as an individual whose whereabouts are unknown, who resided in the state at the time they were reported missing, and whose disappearance poses a credible threat to their safety and well-being, as determined by a local law enforcement agency. Missing senior citizen refers to an individual whose whereabouts are unknown, whose domicile was within the state at the time of their report as missing, who is 60 years of age or older at the time of the report, and whose disappearance poses a credible threat to their safety and well-being, as determined by a local law enforcement agency. Activation and implementation of the Louisiana Silver Alert Act. When the disappearance of an individual meets the criteria and poses a credible threat to their safety and well-being, necessitating the issuance of a Silver Alert, the responsibility lies with local law enforcement to promptly notify the Louisiana State Police, LSP. This ensures that additional resources can be engaged to aid in locating the missing individual effectively. Deactivation of a Louisiana Silver Alert Act. It is incumbent upon the initiating agency to promptly inform the LSP once the missing person is located. This proactive step allows LSP to initiate the necessary steps to notify the media and any other relevant public outlets requested for assistance, as well as provide notification to the Office of the Superintendent. Louisiana Missing Persons and Statistics. Louisiana's missing persons. A glimpse into open and resolved cases. The state of Louisiana, with its vibrant culture, unique heritage, and diverse population, is not immune to the unsettling reality of missing persons cases. These cases are not only emotionally devastating for the families involved but also present a profound challenge for law enforcement and the community at large. The statistics speak for themselves, as Louisiana currently grapples with numerous open cases involving missing persons, unidentified individuals, and unclaimed persons. This essay aims to shed light on the pressing issue of missing persons in Louisiana by examining the data, exploring the challenges faced, and emphasizing the importance of collective efforts in resolving these cases. 1. The missing persons landscape in Louisiana. Louisiana, like many other states, experiences the distressing phenomenon of individuals disappearing without a trace. The available data reveals a somber picture. Missing persons, open cases, A total of 543 open cases signifies the number of individuals whose whereabouts remain unknown, leaving families and authorities in a state of constant concern. Missing persons. Resolved cases. While there is some relief in the fact that 395 cases have been resolved, it's essential to acknowledge that the road to resolution is not always straightforward, and these cases may involve various outcomes. 2. Unidentified persons. Open and resolved cases. Unidentified persons cases are another dimension of the missing persons issue that adds complexity to the situation. Unidentified persons. Open cases. 149 open cases indicate the existence of individuals who have been found, but their identities remain a mystery. The urgency to identify these individuals is not only for their sake but for the families awaiting answers. Unidentified persons. Resolved cases. On a positive note, 37 cases have been resolved, where the unknown individuals have been successfully identified. These cases highlight the importance of the collective effort to solve such mysteries. 3. Unclaimed persons. Open and resolved cases. In a heart-wrenching category of cases, Louisiana also deals with unclaimed individuals. Unclaimed persons. Open cases. The existence of 15 open cases tells a story of individuals who have passed away, and yet, no one has come forward to claim them for a final farewell. These cases underscore the need for compassion and a dignified closure for these individuals. Unclaimed persons. Resolved cases. A single resolved case signifies a small but significant victory in reuniting an unclaimed individual with their rightful resting place or family, highlighting the importance of respectful and considerate procedures in handling such cases. 4. The challenges faced. Resolving missing persons cases is a complex endeavor fraught with numerous challenges, including limited resources. Law enforcement agencies may face resource constraints, limiting their ability to dedicate substantial manpower and time to these cases. Time sensitivity. Time is of the essence in missing persons cases, as the chances of a successful resolution often decrease with each passing day. Lack of information. In many cases, a scarcity of information, witnesses, or leads can make the process of locating missing persons extremely challenging. 5. The way forward. While the statistics are sobering, the efforts to resolve missing persons cases in Louisiana must persist. Collaborative approach. Law enforcement agencies, the community, and advocacy groups should collaborate closely to share information, expertise, and resources. Public awareness. Raising awareness about missing persons cases can prompt individuals to come forward with vital information and support the families enduring these hardships. Timely reporting. Encouraging prompt reporting of missing persons cases can enhance the chances of successful resolutions. The data on missing persons, unidentified individuals, and unclaimed persons in Louisiana presents a stark reality that demands attention, compassion, and action. Resolving these cases is a collective effort that calls for unity among law enforcement, communities, and advocacy groups. By working together, we can provide answers to families, closure to unresolved cases, and hope for a brighter future where the number of missing persons becomes a statistic of the past.